McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal. Ooh. With your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Available now in a biome near you. Oh, and at your local McDonald's. I participate in McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theaters.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy David with Black Wealth Renaissance, and I'm here today to tell you guys about Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the best place to make a podcast. Anchor is a free app that has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone. Anchor also distributes your podcast across all major platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many others. You can also make money on your podcast with Anchor with no minimum listenership. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So if you're looking to get started on your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm.
Are you looking to sell or buy your home, or looking for an investment property? Look no further. BlackWealthRenaissance.com offers a free realtor directory with realtors located across the country to help you meet your goals. Just go to BlackWealthRenaissance.com and select Realtor Directory under Resources. That's BlackWealthRenaissance.com and select Realtor Directory under Resources.
Thank you for listening to the Black Wealth Renaissance Podcast. Our goal of this podcast is to normalize Black wealth and share helpful resources and tips we believe will be useful in attaining and maintaining generational wealth. Please feel free to rate, review, and comment on our podcast. We would love to hear feedback from you guys. Now, let's get into the show.
On this episode of the Black Wealth Renaissance Podcast, the crew talks to Brandon Thomas, an independent insurance broker from Austin, Texas. Brandon is a licensed insurance broker in the states of Texas, Colorado, and North Carolina. His focus is on life and health, so he serves life insurance, health insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, disability insurance, and sells group insurance for business owners looking to help employees out. He is also a part-time real estate investor with a focus on wholesaling, and he offers free personal finance consulting courses. Brandon offers some real good insight on the insurance industry and shares information that we all need to know. Now let's get to the episode. What's good, everybody? David with Black Wealth Renaissance here, checking in.
What's good, y'all? It's Jalen, Black Wealth Renaissance. How y'all doing? We hope y'all enjoying it.
What up? It's Jared. Just checking in. We about to get this episode started.
Yeah, man. Welcome everybody to episode 14 of the Black Wealth Renaissance Podcast. Got another very special episode with us. We got our man Brandon Thomas with us. Brandon is born and raised in Austin, Texas. Super dope, brother. We just had a little nice conversation with him before the podcast.
Yeah, man. I respect this man, bro.
Yeah, young man too,
yeah,
younger
man.
than us. This is a rarity.
That's saying something, man. We 25 and stuff, so we got
you
somebody
25,
younger.
Bro. I'm 24.
Yeah, I know. I'm old, man.
Hold up. You can't give me that 25 too quick now.
Yeah, I'm saying, bro. Yeah.
Y'all not too much older.
Yeah, man.
Nah.
You're not I thought y'all was in your 30s or something, the way y'all was talking.
No. For real, you got old ass minds, bro. But Brandon, how you feeling, fam?
I'm feeling good, brother. I'm excited. Good health, good mindset. I'm very excited. You know what I'm saying? So how about you, brothers?
Man, we doing good, man. Can't complain. I know you see I'm in my work shirt. I was working earlier. So, but like you said, we got health, wealth. We here. Congrats. And also welcome to the show, man. We thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you reached out to us too, because it's like this is just dope. The type of conversation we can have with like-minded individuals and like share this and put this out there to the community, because you real big in insurance, and that's something that we've been meaning to talk about for a minute. So now we can get this information out there to the community.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Usually when I hear podcasts, a lot of people talk about, real estate and credit and stuff like that, which is, definitely good. But I really don't see nobody talking about insurance, and not trying to like be, cocky and anything like that. But I feel like I got that lane locked as far as social media and stuff goes. I don't see anybody, putting out, the information that I put out. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, thank you guys for giving me a chance to bless your listeners with the information that I have. So, thank you.
No problem,
We
my brother.
appreciate you
Yeah,
for
we
coming on
appreciate
and
you for
doing it.
coming out, man. So we're gonna get started, get into it, man. We just want you to tell our listeners about yourself. Where you're from. Obviously, you're from Austin, but how you got started and what you're doing, and just a little bit about like what made you come to insurance and how you got there.
Okay. Born and raised in Austin, Texas. I am a full-time entrepreneur. I just made it a full year, May 22nd. When I was working, I didn't go to, I went to college for a year. I ended up dropping out because I could not decide on a major. And I had, my dad was trying to influence me into stuff. And then I had a girlfriend that was trying to influence me into stuff. And I knew I always wanted to be, successful, and be a man. But I was just wasting my time at college. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't making sense for me then. And I'm not the type of person to say college was a scam. But just for me, it just wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So I didn't go to any kind of trade school or nothing like that. I was just working fast food. So I was working at Jack in the Box, maybe in 2014. Then I started working at Raising Cane's, which is starting in you guys' state, Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
The boot.
And then I left that job, and I was working at this. I was doing a commissary for this little healthy, kind of vegan restaurant. And I was working there, and I was just going through a spiritual awakening, I guess you can say. So I just started, getting out of my comfort zone and started, listening to new things. And particularly, like I say, Todd Millionaire was putting me on some game with his podcast and his the guests he had on there.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Charles, man.
Hey,
Guess on episode 12. Shout
out. And then I started listening to Nipsey more. Like I said, when I first was listening to Nipsey, I always knew he was cool, and I always saw his videos where he was talking about, real stuff, having assets and not blowing off your money on dumb stuff. So I always heard that, but I never really was listening to his music until he dropped that Victory Lap. And I heard that. Like I said, I was reading different books like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then all that stuff just, like I said, opened my mind. So I basically ended up quitting my job back, like I said, May 22nd. But when I quit my job, I did not have any kind of lane lock. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that the job I was working at, I knew I wasn't going to move up. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up quitting. Maybe a month later, I got into affiliate marketing, and it was good until, like I said, just some messed up stuff happened.
Quick segue, Brandon. Can you explain what affiliate marketing all entails for our followers?
Okay, so affiliate marketing is kind of it's multi-level marketing. So basically what you're doing is you're promoting a company's product. So some people might have affiliate marketing with Avon. That was one of the first affiliate marketing deals.
And Herbalife and all that stuff. Limu.
Herbalife.
Yeah.
That Forex, iMarkets Live. A lot of companies are doing affiliate marketing now. And basically what you could do is you could either sell the product and, get paid, just some part-time income, or if you want a full-time income, you can do all that recruiting stuff. Now that stuff ain't for me, you know what I'm saying? So when I was doing it, I was just selling a product. So that was what the credit service was. So I would do like free consultations with people, and then I would just refer them to my website. You know what I'm saying? And then they would log in, do what they have to do, and I would get paid, $50, $100, and then that was that. But I mean, I wouldn't say multi-level marketing is a scam, but I will say that you have to know what you're getting into before you do it. Like, that stuff ain't easy. It's not passive at all, because you definitely got to always be like recruiting people. You got to be motivating your recruits to keep going. It's a lot of stuff. So, but like I said, I had stopped doing that. And then, like I said, I was messing with this girl, and she basically invited me to these, to her, her mentor's house. And they were like, "Hey, Brandon, you ever thought about getting into insurance?" And on Twitter, I was already talking about it, but not really in depth. But I ended up getting my license with the agency, but I left the agency because, like I said, they kind of do that recruiting stuff too. And I was like, man, I don't really too much care about that. So now I'm just an independent broker. So basically what I do is I just get contracted independently with any company, and I just sell whatever like services or products that they have.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal. Ooh. With your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Available now in a biome near you. Oh, and at your local McDonald's. At participating McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theaters.
And that stuff has been jumping like ever since I jumped in that water. So
dope. And like, I think it's cool that you weren't afraid to just keep moving to things. Like, that's something we always talk about on the show, is because like people are scared to take chances. And that's the biggest problem with people in our community. Yeah. We got all these self-limiting beliefs that like, oh man, I could never do this. Or, oh man, I could never do that. But end of the day, it's just about doing it.
Exactly.
And like, just the fact that you were willing to move from one thing to another while in the process of finding yourself. You're 23 now, and you're doing so much better than you were when you were 21. Like, you make progress through change. And our community, like, they avoid change because they're scared. They have them self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah. I had to get out of that, man, because like I grew up basically one step up from poverty. We basically grew up with enough money to be poor in the suburbs, if that makes sense. So, but my mom still had to work 2 and 3 jobs. She was a single mother. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really, I never was on welfare, but of course, like WIC and food stamps. So like I said, we basically was like one step up from, living in the inner city, like the hood. So, but yeah, I saw that. And, other people that I used to hang out with, that was in the inner city in the hood, I saw how they grew up, and I was just like, man, I'm not repeating this process. So, like you said, man, I had to make a change, man. So,
for sure, man. I do want to get into another part where you said you're a full-time entrepreneur. Like, can you just tell us what that was like for you, and what made you take that leap off the balcony and say, you know what, forget that 9 to 5. I'm about to just go head in. I'm about to just dive in.
Yeah. Okay. The internet, a lot of people on the internet think entrepreneurship is easy. So I'd like for you to talk about that part of it, man.
Well, no, entrepreneurship is not easy. I don't want anybody to think that. So what happened with me was, like what we were talking about before we started recording, I really got into entrepreneurship at the age of 20, but it wasn't legal. You know what I'm saying? So I was doing stuff illegally, making money, but I really wasn't too big with like spending my money. I was already like saving up and stuff.
Yeah.
But at that time, like I said, I was kind of like in the conscious groove, you know what I'm saying? So I was really saving up to invest in some land out in Africa, you know what I'm saying? So that was my mindset then. But I was making so much money, like outside of my job, it had got to a point to where like I wasn't even working 40 hours a week at the job, you know what I'm saying? So really with entrepreneurship now, I'm working, 60, 70 hours a week. But when I was working at a job, bro, I'm maybe hitting 25 hours a week, maybe. So the shift was a bit easy, you know, because I already had money saved up. But at that time, like I said, I didn't really have a lane lock. So it was like, well, dang, I have to do something quick. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, that illegal stuff, I mean, I wasn't doing, you know, anything like really bad, but it's like still, you know, I didn't want to be like known for that. You know what I'm saying? Plus, like I grew up good. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to do what I did. You know, I could have easily stayed in college. I could have easily, you know, I got offered plenty of jobs where I could have been, you know, making anywhere between $14 to $18 an hour. So I could have, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna take the risk over here and see what I can do over here. So, but yeah, entrepreneurship definitely is not easy. For me, for myself, you know, I wake up at 5:30 to work out. I have to, you know, Uber is like a supplementary income. I have to come up with creative content. I have to learn different stuff about different products. I got to market these products. I have to, you know, drive out to these clients and present these products. I might have to, you know, sometimes, you know, do like another meeting. So I had to drop back out to these clients and stuff like that. It's definitely a lot of work. And that's just the insurance. That's not even talking about what I do on the wholesale side, you know, where you got to skip trace all these lists, cold call, do all this. I send out letters. So, and I do that myself. You know what I'm saying? So, matter of fact, as soon as we get off this podcast, I'm about to go driving for dollars.
The hustle don't stop, my brother.
At all.
Yeah. There's nothing guaranteed. You know, I don't get a check, you know, every 2 weeks. So it's like, you really have to be on your hustle. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like, I don't have anything to go back to. So, because what I did was I told myself, I was like, bro, if you're going to jump into this entrepreneur life and you're going to want success and wealth, that 2-week notice, that's a no. You're going to have to walk out. So I basically burnt that bridge. So I don't have no college degree. Matter of fact, I quit my last 3 jobs. So it would be hard for me to go back anywhere. I don't have no trade skills. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, I'm in a good position because, I mean, I'm licensed with my insurance, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not no fraud. So, I mean, I'm good, you know, there. So, but yeah.
Hey, that's really dope, bro. And I'm pretty sure that's going to touch a lot of people. And I respect you for that, man.
Yes, sir.
And you kind of already got into another question of like, what really made you, I know you said, you know, you tried a few things. You tried the credit, you tried the Forex stuff. What made you really stick with the insurance? What drew you to the insurance? What's your why with that?
Well, my biggest why with the insurance is it's really not talked about in our community. And I mean, honestly, like life insurance is the cheapest way to pass on generational wealth. You know,
big facts, my brother.
You can I can link you with you know, a policy that's maybe like $50, you know, and then as soon as you pass away, you know, your people's inheriting, you know, 6 figures, and for some people maybe even 7 figures. You know what I'm saying? So, I was just like, man, I got to bring back the importance of that, you know, to the show. I mean, not to the show, I'm sorry, to my community. And, you know, like I said, just put it out there and make people, some people think it's life insurance is a scam for some reason. I really don't.
That's something we need to talk about as a community.
I don't understand why. Like, what's a scam about? Like, what's the, I don't get it. I'm hoping my people understand, but I don't get it.
I think a lot of that is rooted in like, a lot of the older people's mentality, because during like in the past, in like Jim Crow era, I've read books like Henrietta Lacks and stuff like that. So in Malcolm X's book, they didn't pay life insurance policies out to black people in like the Jim Crow era and pre-civil rights and things like that. So a lot of people in our community take those teachings from their parents and their grandparents, and they don't think further into it and see that times have changed in that regard.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I feel like as a community, we just, that conversation needs to be had more, because we don't understand that things have changed in that regard.
Yeah. No, people definitely need to understand, because it's too many examples. Like, but people got to educate themselves, you know. The guy that created JCPenney's, he started that taking money out of his whole life policy. The founder of McDonald's had to pay his business expenses and paid his employees with the whole life policy. Master P with No Limit invested and built No Limit from a policy payout from his grandfather's death. You know what I'm saying? So people need to educate themselves on of course, like personal finance education, because you don't want your kids inheriting, $500,000 and going out and buying, a big house and, a nice foreign car. Because, that's not really going to do them nothing, But like I say, literally like $30, $50 a month, you know what I'm saying, can guarantee your descendants like wealth as soon as you pass away. So I don't get the scam stuff. People need to prioritize it, because I even made a post on Facebook this morning, and really I said it for the millennials. I basically was like, man, if you can smoke weed every month or every day, every week, you can afford life insurance. So if you're out here doing that, you need to prioritize your stuff, especially
big facts,
big old fact.
Because what we going for, man, that's half of a policy right there.
Yep, exactly.
But Brandon, I do want to dive into something with you, because you mentioned it twice. You said that two people funded their businesses, the JCPenney man, and I can't quite recall them, but they funded their businesses with whole life policies.
Yes, sir.
A person who does insurance, what's your take on the whole life versus term argument?
Okay, that's a great question. I'm so glad you asked me that. So, as a broker, I have a lot of products. So there's some agents out there, I'm not gonna name anybody, but there's some agents out there that can only do term life insurance. So it's like they've been seasoned to hate on whole life because they can't sell it. So it's just like McDonald's hating on Burger King because McDonald's don't have, the chicken fries or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but my take, when I sit down with the client, I basically let them know, like, hey, I break down the pros and cons of term, and I break down the pros and cons of having a permanent life insurance. So if I had, an individual that was young and he's like, man, I want to invest my money into real estate and blah, 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 businesses, I would tell him, like, bro, get you a 20, 30-year term. It's cheaper, and you got 20 to 30 years to build up your wealth. And in that time, by the time your policy cancels, you don't need life insurance because you have a nice enough net worth and assets to just pass on, to your kids. But if I have a client that's not as risky, maybe he has a good job, he's a manager or a general manager of a restaurant, I'll tell him, like, hey, like, that 401k is not going to give you no safe retirement. So you probably want to invest in a whole life policy, because now you'll have that 401k and then you have this cash value that'll supplement your retirement, or, you can want to invest in something. Matter of fact, I had met this girl at the club, and her dad happened to be at the club too, which was funny. So I got his number because this was a while back, and he was looking for like a product that I had, and that's how me and him built the relationship. And he told me, he was like, man, I'm a real estate developer and stuff like that. So later on, I hit him up and I told him, like, yo, bro, I do insurance. Like, let me, just give you a presentation. And he was like, yeah, man, let's do it. He's a black dude, so he's cool. So I did the presentation for him. This guy's maybe like 45 maybe. And I showed him a permanent life insurance policy. And he was like, man, this sounds familiar. I think I might have one. And he was like, let me check up on financial advisor to see what's going on. So he checked and he told me, he was like, hey, bro, I don't need that policy because I already have it. And thank you for reminding me. But now I got $95,000 in my policy. So I'm about to go invest in some real estate.
Damn.
So that's what I'm saying. So I don't get, like I say, I break everything down for people. I don't try to, shift anybody into a certain policy. I basically break, everything down. So, but I'm, like I say, for some clients, you should get a term. Some clients, I'm like, yo, you should get permanent. So, like I said, I'm a fan of having life insurance, dude. So
yeah,
that's pretty dope, man.
I'm glad you really got on that, because we had made a post about the two types of life insurance. And me personally, I'm a proponent of whole life insurance, because I know, like me as a young person, I could benefit from that because I look at it as a retirement thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people take that. A lot of people in the comments like, oh man, you would save so much money if you get a term policy and just invest the difference. But my mentality on it is I'm not worried about this life insurance policy. This is for when I die. I don't plan on dying in the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
I plan on dying when I'm 90 or something like that. I want this money on the side so I can do things with it in the future. I can invest in real estate off that policy. I can do so many different things off that policy that a term life policy won't afford you.
Yep, that is true.
And I like how you brought both of them up too, because I just want you to do like a general, just like a quick overview synopsis of the difference between those two. You don't have to go into depth because I know it can get pretty deep between those two.
Well, actually, I'll go into 3 different types of policies.
Okay.
So the first is term. So basically with the term, you can get that anywhere between 5 and 30 years. Well, I'm sorry, increments of 5, like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Some of those policies are guaranteed renewable, meaning that as soon as, like let's say you get a 10-year term. So if it's guaranteed renewal, as soon as that 10 years is up, it's all automatically renewed, but your premium will go up though. Because now, let's say you're 21 when you got that policy, they're going to charge you at 21, but now you're 31. So now they're going to charge you at 31, but you don't have to get like another medical exam. Everything is all good. But if you don't have guaranteed renewability on term, the policy just cancels and you could either try to get another one. But I mean, that's like the con of it. Cause let's say you're 25, you get a 30-year term, but you really didn't invest in anything, over that 30 years, what I'm saying? You just got it because it was the cheapest thing you could get. If that term ends, like I said, let's say your 25, 30-year term, so now you're 55. So let's say, you either have diabetes or you had cancer. So now if you try to renew it, they can say, oh, okay, hold up. Well, you have diabetes, so now we're going to have to upcharge you. Or now you smoke tobacco, so now I got to upcharge you. Or now you have cancer, so sorry, man, you can't get it. So that's like a con of the term. But, I mean, the pros is it's cheaper. And, like, you could get higher face amounts, and it'll still be, cheaper than a whole life. So whole life, the only con about whole life insurance is that it's more expensive. That's really it. But you basically, with whole life, you have a fixed premium. So it might be like $70 a month. You have a fixed death benefit. It might be $200,000 a month. And then you'll have a fixed interest rate. So they might give you, maybe like 4%, which is okay. But they have this new product that I like, one of my favorite products, and it's called Index Universal Life Insurance. So it's basically the same as whole life, except for nothing is fixed. So on your premium, your minimum might be like $70, but your maximum could be like $250. So you have a range of, how much you can invest, every month. Of course, the more you put in, the more you'll get out of it. The death benefit on those is not fixed though. So you can start off, let's say you're 25 and you start off at 100,000, but by the time you turn 85, now your policy is worth $1 million in death benefit, and then your cash value doesn't have a cap either. And then the rate is higher. So like I said, with whole life, you have a fixed return, which might be like 4%. These index universal lives, you could get up to 15%. And then you have like a market floor to where, because these whole life and permanent insurance period is based off of indexes. So like S&P 500, NASDAQ. So basically, however those companies perform is how your policy will perform. But you just have a market cap and then you have a market floor. So, if the S&P 500 did, like 30% for, 2019, you get 15%. And then the company would get, whatever company that you do your insurance will get 15%. On the other hand, let's say, S&P 500 does negative 30%, you'll have a floor of like 0.75. So basically with that policy, you're guaranteed 0.75 on your money, which is more money than more interest than you'll get at a traditional savings account.
Yeah.
Where you're going to get like 0.0000.
Man, fuck savings accounts.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Unless they high interest.
That's how I feel. If you banking with just a regular savings account, you losing.
Yeah, you
Point
lose.
blank. Period.
Yeah. You definitely losing. Definitely.
But a lot of people do it also because they don't know a lot of alternatives too. So like us telling them about different stuff like this can be good because now we're giving them alternatives of like what else can they do if they don't want a savings account.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I mean, people just need to listen to more podcasts where they bringing out, more information. So,
Yeah.
because you got
Major tip. Stop
you
listening
got,
to the same damn song 20 times and listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
yeah, it's really the older folks that it's just like an older, like, just save your money, save, not let's save this money to invest, So like I said, people just got to just get educated on different investment vehicles and stuff like that. So
The NBA playoffs are here, and I'm getting my bets in on FanDuel. Talk to me, Chuck GPT. What do you know?
All sorts of interesting stuff, even Charles Barkley's greatest fear.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
New customers bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in Virginia. Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Honestly, and like I do see that with our generation though, people are starting to seek those vehicles and how can they invest. It's just like it's a movement. The ball is rolling, and that's why we started this, because we saw it rolling. So we was like, we got to shine light on this.
yeah,
We got
in front of that.
Yeah, we got to be the leaders of this. We got to show people and teach people. So that's how it all got started anyway. And I do thank you for like just breaking down the way the insurance works and just the 3 different types. I know you do different other types of insurance also. You certify with what? Your health,
Disability,
and disability.
So basically, depending on your state and how you take your insurance, like for instance, Texas, when you take your test to get licensed, my test was life and health. For some states, you can only get life, and then for health, you have to do like some other like course and all that stuff. So look, I mean, like I say, I'm blessed because I knocked 2 birds out with 1 stone. So basically, like I said, as an independent broker, I try to get contracted with people that have at least like an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, the BBB.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm brokered with Transamerica, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Health, Everest, which is a concierge service that people really don't know too much about. Molina, which is it's a smaller, it's like an affordable health insurance. I do Medicaid, CHIP. Basically, I pretty much do everything in the life and health insurance world. So yeah, Medicare, Medicaid. Also do group insurance for business owners.
So if y'all some business owners and y'all need some life insurance,
Yeah.
I'll let my boy.
Well, I can do health benefits as well. So if you are a business owner and you have employees and you're not offering your employees health benefits, you are tripping. Because it's cheaper to get health insurance through your employer than it is through me as a broker. Well, I mean, some health insurances, like I can sell cheap, but it's always some type of stipulation. Like I sell short-term insurance, which is very cheap, very affordable, but it's only going to last you for a year. And you can only renew it up to 3 times. So after that 3rd year, you're going to have to get with that Obamacare and start paying $500 a month. So, yeah. So it's crazy. But yeah. I pretty much do everything. Disability insurance, everything, dude. So.
I was saying, and because of where he stays, like he didn't have to take multiple tests for all those different licenses. It was just one.
It was 1 test, but you have to get certified. And sometimes it sucks because every time you get with a different company, they want you to get certified through their program. So I had to get certified to sell Medicare. I had to get certified to sell long-term care. You have to get certified to sell health insurance with the Affordable Care Act, or what people call Obamacare. So it's definitely like a lot of money you got to put into it. Every time I want to get licensed in another state, like I have to pay $200. And I will be getting licensed in Louisiana soon too. So yeah, I mean, like I say, it's definitely it's not just one test. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff you got to go through. You got to get certified to sell annuities. Like it's a lot of stuff. So.
I was saying, so it definitely requires some dedication and investing in yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. A lot of time learning different products, learning how to market stuff. Yeah, so it's a lot, dude. It's a lot.
I like it.
I enjoy it though. So,
Brandon, I do want to go back and touch on something, the Affordable Care Act, because a lot of people don't understand the Affordable Care Act. Could you explain that a little bit more? Like, why would the premium be so high on the Affordable Care Act?
So basically, what the Affordable Care Act was, which people call Obamacare, it basically was a marketplace set up to help you get insurance like easily. You basically log into this marketplace, put in your information, and it's supposed to give you the best quote. Now, there's some good things about the ACA, and there's some bad things. Of course, like the bad things is definitely like the cost. Because dude, I'll sell health insurance to like families, and they paying like $1,600 a month.
Sheesh.
Not a year, not a year. But I mean, these are like real estate investors, so it's like it definitely hurts. It hurts for them to have to pay that much, but it's not nothing that they can't do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the good thing about it is, I mean, if you're younger than 26, you can stay on your parents' health insurance. Especially if they through it like a employer, it's basically cheaper that way for you. But yeah, I hear people, they'll say good things about it. People say bad things about it. It's definitely easier to get the insurance because now people that have pre-existing conditions, like it's like a law that you can't deny anybody. So if you have a cancer or something, you'll still have the same health insurance. But what happens is that they're not going to upcharge you because of your pre-existing condition. So I think that's why all the premiums are higher.
Yeah.
Now. So
you got to pay for the sick people now.
You got to pay for the sick people now. So yeah, it's like I say, it's definitely detrimental. And I think Trump is going to do something, but I don't know because they just made a ruling that it was.
I think he's capping, bro. I'm being real.
I don't know, man, because he's been rolling back a lot of stuff that Obama implemented.
But I'm saying he rolled a lot of stuff back, but never brought nothing to the table. He stated a lot of things about rollbacks, like, oh yeah, we're taking away the Affordable Care Act.
Like,
but there's no system to replace it, so they don't have anything to.
Honestly, what I think he's gonna do, he probably might roll it back, make a few tweaks, and slap his fucking
name on it. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Honestly, because like you said, it's not a bad policy, but it's just the fact that you gotta cover up. You got to pay for the sick people now. Like, that's why your policy is so high.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt them pockets, man.
I appreciate you touching on that for us.
Oh, yeah, my brother. And for those that don't know how to use your life insurance policy to invest, can you kind of go into what that process will look like borrowing? I don't know if it's even called borrowing against your policy. Would that be what it is?
So basically, you can either, whenever you have a permanent policy, you can either withdraw or you can withdraw. I mean, you can take a loan out against your policy. And these are the things about the loans, though. You can only take a loan of what you have in your cash value. So if you get a whole life policy and you're like, well, hey, I want $50,000 cash value, you can't just walk out the next day or, hit them up the next day and say, oh, hey, man, can I borrow that $50,000? Like, no, I don't work like that. So you would have to have the equity already built up to have a loan. But the thing about the loans is this, like, they're not always meant to be paid back. But what happens is they'll just deduct it from your death benefit. So, for example, let's say, you got a policy and it's, took out maybe like $50,000, right? Your death benefit is like $200,000, and you took a loan out of $50,000, and let's say you pass away. So instead of your kids getting that 200, they're only gonna get 150.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That makes sense?
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. That's how that works. But I mean, if you're planning on investing, like if you're trying to use your policy to invest, then your goals will probably be different, because you probably would be like, okay, well, I'm just going to use all this money to invest, because I mean, I'll just pass them on these assets. I don't really care about the life insurance, the death benefit anymore. So it's really about your goals as a policy holder. So.
Do you run into a lot of investors that do start with their insurance like that, or that are setting themselves up to be able to do that later?
A lot of the business owners and investors that I talk to, they rather have term policies, just because they already got all their money wrapped up in other investments, and it's basically just insurance just for that length of time. If something happens to them, okay, well, I'm passing this on to my spouse or my child, and I know that they'll continue what I'm trying to do. So, like I said, as a policy holder, it really just depends on what your goals are. And, I make it my job to just break everything down for you, and make you see like the long game, not just right now. So.
No, that's what it's all about, the long game, always.
Yeah.
We talking about investors. You invest in real estate as well. So
yes,
can we talk about that a little bit, how you got into that and how that's going?
Okay, so I will say that I just got started in February, but I got involved. I always knew I wanted to get into real estate because, like I said, I was always hearing, Top Millionaire talk about it and all of his guests, but I didn't know when I was going to pull the trigger. But back in 2018, when I first got into entrepreneurship, I was like, all right, I'm going to get into real estate. I'm just going to be maybe like three or 5 years later down the line. But I started following this guy on Twitter. Y'all know Brandon Jones, right?
I'm not very active on Twitter. Like, I'm just getting into the Twitter game.
Oh, B_RE invest.
Yeah. Okay. I do know who you're talking about. Then.
Okay.
Yeah. His shirt says real estate money, making real estate money.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So I saw him talking about it, and I paid him to be my mentor, and then he sent me the contracts and all the game, and then I call him, and every time I have a question or something like that, and I just jumped in that water. But I will say, so since February, I actually got my first 2 deals this month. My first deal went bad though, man. I lost $3,000 in that deal, bro.
You sound like us, bro.
Oh man,
you sound like us, man. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I lost because the dude, I was investing outside of Austin into Houston, like in 3rd Ward. So I just made a rookie mistake by trying to use the gentrification in Austin, like the numbers here, to those numbers out there, and it was a 4-plex, and I think I overpriced it. Maybe by maybe like 50, 60,000. And every buyer that I talked to was like, yo, this is a good property, but, I want it for this price. And it was like nowhere close to what I got under contract for. So the seller was like, yeah, you can have it. But I got other offers. But if you give me $3,000 non-refundable earnest money, you can have it. So I was like, all right, bet. So basically, damn near emptied out emergency funds, because I was like, bro, this deal is gonna work. But it didn't work. But what's good though is that
like so much.
no, it was good because this other seller, like I did a walkthrough with this other seller, made him an offer, and he didn't give me an answer. He was because the property was a church, and it's on the east side of Austin, and right now the east side of Austin is really is booming. Yeah. So he basically, like I said, he didn't respond to my offer. I literally texted this dude like every week for like a month, and he wasn't responding. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to, go after this guy no more. So out of nowhere, he texted me. He like, hey, bro, I got 3 acres that I'm trying to move. Can you help me out? And I don't know no land developers, but I was like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna help you out. You know what I'm saying? So right now, this is my second deal. I'm still in it right now. It was supposed to close on the 24th, but I don't think it is because we found a buyer, and this is like a land deal. So, like I say, it's 3 acres on the east side of Austin, raw land, and the buyer is basically doing like feasibility, trying to see what he can do on the land, getting utilities and stuff. And I'm actually doing a JV. So I got that property under contract for $1.41 million. I'm trying to move it. I told the guy that I'm JVing with, I was like, well, hey, market it for like 1.65, but the lowest I'll take is 1.45. So when this closes, on the low end, 20,000, but I mean, we can move it for 1.65. Bro, that'll be crazy.
Hey, I hope it works out for you, my brother.
Man,
Yeah,
Definitely.
Things he just touched on, because a lot of the things you just said speaks on the power of persistence and teamwork.
Yep.
Those are like 2 major takeaways from that.
Yeah.
Even though Buddy ain't respond to you for a month,
you kept on hitting.
You kept hitting him up, and what he did whenever you had something else, he hit you back.
Exactly. Because I mean, he told me after the first time I met him, he was like, hey, bro, I know I just met you and stuff, but just keep working hard, bro, and you're gonna get where you're trying to go. And I mean, he basically had told me no, but I mean, he gave me that. And I mean, even right now, dude, me and him are building up like a great relationship. And I mean, this is like a 7-figure dude. Like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I just, like I said, everything is gonna go straight. It's just the fact that we just got to keep extending, like this stuff, But I mean, I've only had it under contract maybe since like the 6th. It was the 17th. So I mean, it really hasn't been long. But
the 17th of this month or last month?
Of this month. So like I said,
you good. You're so good.
Yeah,
you got time, bro.
Yeah, we good. I'm like I said, and the seller knows I'm a wholesaler, so he's basically like, dude, I just don't want to put this on the market. I just want it to just close. So he wanted like a fast close, but I was just like, yo, dude, like, I don't think that's gonna happen, but I can definitely get you that 1.41. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that's how that stuff's going now. Like I said, on the weekends, that's where I really, zone in on the wholesaling as far as, contacting sellers and trying to find properties and skip tracing, all that good stuff.
All that good work.
All the good work.
That work. That's the work, the shit people don't want to do. That work.
You gotta do the dirty work, man. Like
my man Ray see the dirty work.
Yeah, man. You gotta fall in love with the hard shit, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to do the hard work, but the hard work, that's where you make your money, man.
Exactly.
That's where you develop them skills. That's where you really find out what you're made of.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's how you get it, bro. So,
but I mean, if you put into your mind that the work really ain't that hard, because I mean, at the end of the day, all you really doing is contacting people. That's really
you just gotta call them for about 3-4 hours. But hey,
that's really the thing with it. Like, I think that's because whenever we started wholesaling, that was one of our bigger reservations. Was like, oh man, it kind of go back to that self-limiting belief thing. Oh man, I don't want to call them right now. It might be like they might be with their family or some shit. Man, fuck all that.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I like I still cold call from time to time, but I like sending out letters. That's where I've gotten all my leads from.
Really?
Yeah, I think I had a cold call, and I think I've only got like one lead. And I made this guy an offer. I was supposed to meet up with him, and then like last minute he was like, I think I'm gonna hold on to the property, bro. So I was like, okay. So but yeah, letters be working for me. So
hey. So question, how long have you been wholesaling, or had you been wholesaling before you got that first deal?
February, March, about 4 or 5 months. Okay. 4 or 5 months every weekend, and then I put in work a couple hours Tuesdays and Thursdays. So 5 months of that, no money. You know what I'm saying? We're still going.
You gotta be willing to not. You gotta be willing to not get the bag in order to get the bag, man.
Yeah. Rashad said last week, you gotta be comfortable working without getting paid.
Yeah. Exactly. Especially in this entrepreneur game, you're trying to build yourself a brand, or not even a brand. You're trying to get yourself out there, like. And I still gotta tell myself that sometimes, because I'm like, man, you know, I should be killing it more. And it's like I'm definitely like getting good business, but it's like it's never enough. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I gotta understand that I haven't even been licensed for a year yet. You know what I'm saying? So I just keep putting in that work.
And you're really young as hell, bro. Like you really like you are ahead of the curve by so many like meters, bro.
People, they young.
Like, but it's crazy though. Like if I was thinking like that whenever I was 23, or like even
I feel you, bro. Because
like
we didn't hit this wave until around a little earlier this time last year.
Yeah, honestly.
Last year around earlier this time.
Yeah, it was the same thing with me.
Like just the fact that you got that year head start, because everybody we talk to, bro, y'all so young. Y'all so young. You're even younger than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know pretty much a lot of 23 years olds, they probably want to go hit up Miami. They want to go to Las Vegas.
Everybody want to take a trip.
Well, actually, I kind of messed up my money because I went to Miami in January, and I should have never did that.
It'd be like that, man.
But I learned my lesson. I told myself, well, like I said, I'm gonna go to New Orleans, but I don't have to spend that much money, you know?
Nah.
Because I'm just gonna drive out there and be out there for a couple of days. It don't really cost too much money to get drunk and walk around the French Square. So
really don't.
One thing I did like from earlier that you said too, kind of just shifting back for a second, when you were saying like you basically had to sacrifice your weekends and not go out, not spend money, not really have all the extra fun and stuff, but that was what helped you build your business. But then not only that, but when you did decide to indulge in that and go do that type of stuff, you saw how much it hit your account and you were like, man, it was not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's cool because it compares to both sides of the scope of what people talk about on, social media. Like, oh, well, it seems like they never want people to have fun or they never want them to go spend money. Well, it's not that. It sets you back a lot more than it's worth when you have a different mindset.
Exactly. And I still kind of struggle with that just a little, not too bad, not like it was. But like I said, I definitely can be more focused and disciplined.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's tax season, and we're all a bit tired of numbers. But here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it. Guaranteed. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
But I mean, it doesn't. It's not days where, like for instance, right now or like today, I'm about to go out driving for dollars. I got to finish this certification, but I mean after that, you know what I'm saying, I got some stuff set up. You know what I'm saying, so.
All about balance.
Yeah, you got that work first and then play later attitude.
Yeah, gotta have that, bro.
Yeah,
gotta have that.
Much respect.
Definitely. I had an old head who used to always say something around me when I was young. He used to say business before bullshit, and I always tried to run with that. I like that. You just handle your business, but then you can have your little bullshit.
Yeah, people think that people think entrepreneurship is like. Like you gotta be. I mean, some days you have to be like gotta be like laser business. Like, I don't want to do nothing. Like, straight work. I mean, like I say, some days it's like that, but it's like some days, bro, you can put in like on the weekend. You can wake up, at like 9 or 10. Put in 4 or 5 hours of whatever your lane is, and you can still hit the club. You know what I'm saying, or hit the lounge, or go to the wherever you're trying to do. You can still do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like all, like I say, I feel like at this age when you're building yourself, it should be like either 80-20 or 70-30 when it comes to, work versus, having fun and stuff like that. So, but that's just my
like that rule. I like it. 70-30, 80-20. Y'all take that in mind because a lot of people trying to get away from the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, my brother. So I got like 2 more questions for you before we wrap this thing up, man. So what's your best advice for someone who wants to get started setting up an insurance plan, or if they even want to get started selling insurance?
Okay, from a consumer view, you basically, like, I would just like ask myself, like, if you don't have a family, I would just ask myself, like, okay, what are my goals like in life? Like, do I want to be like a risk taker with like investments in businesses, or, you know, do I just want to, you know, get a trade or a degree and, you know, work, you know, my 40 years 9 to 5? Because some people enjoy like the 9 to 5 stuff. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? So then you got other people that are like, no, I don't want the 9 to 5 stuff. So I would just sit back and really try to see what your goals are, and then definitely sit down with a broker. Do not go online and try to like look up a policy, because a lot of people are like buy some stuff and they really don't even know what they're buying, or it's like it's not like a lot of information, you know, that you could get. Like, well, I mean, of course, the computer can give you hella information, but I feel like it would be better if I came, or somebody like me come to you and broke everything down. I feel like that'll work versus somebody getting on the internet and just trying to like look up stuff for their own. Because I don't feel like people would even take the time to look that stuff up, because people think life insurance is just basic. You know, when you die, you'll get X amount of dollars or whatever. But from a producer side, if you're trying to get your license, I would say this. You basically, like in this world, you could either be a broker or an agent. Like an agent is somebody that's with the agency, and you basically build yourself up by recruiting a team, keeping your recruits motivated, keep them recruiting. And I know people that make cake doing that, dude. I know people that are millionaires by, you know, of course they're older, they put in like a lot of work. You know, no matter what you want to do in life, it's gonna require a lot of work. But if that's your lane and you feel like you can recruit a lot of people, go that way. People that want to be brokers, like myself, I would just advise you to contract with as many companies as you can, get as many certifications as you can. And it's going to take time, because like I say, it's time and it's money. And then people that are thinking about becoming insurance agents, I hope y'all know, or if I don't know, I'm going to let y'all know right now, that when people start passing away, you have to be the one that deliver the checks. So if you can't deal with like grieving families, you know, if you're not strong enough for that, then I won't even jump in this water. So, I mean, that's pretty much that. So,
Sure, man. Okay, so we coming up to the last part of our podcast. One of our favorite parts. I know it's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna ask, what's on your timeline, my brother? So the what's on your timeline segment, basically something you saw on your timeline. It don't matter if it was on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just something that you saw that was either positive, impactful to you, something you posted, just something that stood out to you on your timeline within the past week.
Okay, let's talk about scamming on a timeline, because I'm seeing a lot of scammers getting exposed. So what I advise people is before you do any kind of business with somebody on the internet, do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? If I came to somebody, you know, and they were kind of skeptical and they were like, hey man, well, can you show me your licenses? I wouldn't have a problem doing that. You know, I'll give you my license number, all that good stuff. So like I said, do your due diligence. If you ask somebody a question and they kind of get a little shaky with you, I wouldn't mess with them. But it's definitely a lot of scamming going on, you know, on that online, especially in the Twitter world, man. So once you get labeled as a scammer, man, that's pretty much it for you. Especially if everybody like on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but it's this one cat that everybody just keep blowing up as scamming. They got receipts on dude. So,
y'all got anything y'all want to talk about what y'all seen on y'all timeline recently?
Nah, bro.
I want to talk about
the
something.
Facebook.
Yeah, I was about to say I want to talk about Libra and Facebook with their cryptocurrency, man.
So what is Libra?
That shit crazy. Like Facebook,
it's a partnership between Facebook and like 28 different.
It's 27 different companies, 28 including Facebook. So Facebook partnered up with like PayPal. Is it PayPal? I think PayPal, Uber. They done eBay and a few other people. So they're coming out with a cryptocurrency. It's supposed to be rolling out in 2020, man. But as soon as they announced it, they did kind of get slammed by some governments because, you know, Facebook does have a history of the data and kind of like selling people's data to other people. But basically, Libra it's kind of different than Bitcoin and Litecoin and all of the other cryptocurrencies. The way it's similar is they will be using the blockchain format to where, you kind of keep all the data recorded and keep track of it. But the way it's different is that people can't initially be investors in the grand scheme of things. You know how like if you buy so much Bitcoin, the price is going to raise up.
Yeah.
If you have so much of Libra, that's not going to happen because it's kind of tied to like the dollar, the euro, the pound, and like around the globe. But their main focus is finding people who don't have bank accounts, who aren't tied to the central financial system. So they want to be able to send money via through Messenger and WhatsApp. That's what they're going to be offering it through on their own services. But they're also going to offer it through a few other Facebook apps. You're also going to have people developing different wallets. Facebook created its own spin-off subsidiary. It's called Calibra. And basically, it's a wallet of their own to where you can send and exchange Libra. But I don't know how you're going to be able to upload your money in currency. I know one of the main requirements, though, they are going to require you to upload a photo ID in order to start using it. But you can also do like Bitcoin. You can have an anonymous account to where you can put whatever type of name that you want to do. So yeah, Facebook is definitely joining the cryptocurrency world.
Okay, well that certifies that this is something real.
Yeah.
Bitcoin also just broke 10K this past week. So something else to look into. But you just said all that shit. Now you got me wanting to talk about some shit. There's another little story that I had put on the page. It was about the 1%. The richest 1% of the nation owns, not the nation, the world. The richest 1% of the world owns as much wealth as 50% of the poor, like the poorest half of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So 1% of the population owns as much money as 50%. And there are record levels of money sitting off to the sidelines that like people have never seen before. So a lot of that has to do with like the past financial crisis, being that these people were already rich. Whenever shit went to shit in 2008, they just bought up everything and capitalized and doubled their wealth. So what they're doing now is it's a charity called Oxfam. They're pushing for a 1% tax on the wealth. And like it just be a wealth tax for them to just pay out. And they saying that it could cover up to like, it could put every child that's not in school right now into school and could prevent, don't make me lie to you on the number, I think it was 300 million deaths a year just by taxing the super rich, as they call them, 1% a year. I just thought that was some real interesting shit just to think about. Like, is it cool that people have that much money just sitting off to the side?
I don't think so. I mean, well, I put it like this. Well, and I'm against that. I don't think they should have no wealth tax. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get wealthy. I don't want them playing with my money.
I don't like the fact that the more wealthy you are, the higher they want to tax you. Like the way I look at it is like you all have the same opportunities. Yes, where you started at might be different than where the other person is, but we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It depends on how you want to do it. If you want to fuck off your time and play video games and then go straight to sleep, what can I do? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was in the same position a year ago. All I wanted to do is I want to play Call of Duty, I want to come home, go to sleep, get a check or whatever. But no, if you invest your time wisely, if you educate yourself and actually use the most powerful muscle in your body, your brain, you can break that bracket. You can get yourself to a higher level. It might gonna take a lot more work because you got to play catch up.
Yeah.
But once you break that barrier, why should I be taxed for all the hard work I've done?
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. And like I said, I'm not even there yet. So it's like I'm looking up to the wealthy people. You know, I still don't think they should get taxed. Because I mean, I used to be one of the ones that thought that every wealthy person like inherited their wealth, and you know, all the wealthy black people had to be in like some type of secret fraternity or sold their soul to the devil. You know all that.
All that shit,
man. So, but then I started getting around some successful black people, and you know, and not even just black people, successful, you know, everybody. And it's like all these people are like first generation people that had to get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's yeah. I'm not against. I mean, I am against that wealth tax.
What about you, Jared? You got anything about on your timeline?
Man, I haven't even been on my timeline that much. I've been at work, been kicking my ass this week. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I definitely understand, man. I know you started your new job with the railroad and everything, so I definitely understand.
You have to put me on blast like that.
Hey, man, I'm
you know, we gotta
uplifting you, my brother.
We gotta keep the people updated on what's going on. They've been heard about you got a new job, man.
So,
speaking of which, new jobs and all that stuff. I'm gonna actually move over to being a teacher, so that's gonna be something new for me.
Hey, turn up, man, turn up. Okay, so Brandon, where can the people find you at? Where can they connect with you? Where can they link with you if they want to purchase some insurance from you, or even if they want to learn from you? What's some places they can find you at?
Okay, so just to say, I'm only licensed in Texas, Colorado, and North Carolina. I will be licensed in Nevada later this month or either early next month. If people do like want to inquire in a state that I'm not licensed in, if I have enough inquiries, well, really a lot, it's just like if I have like at least 2 people that hit me up and they're in like Ohio, I'm like, okay, well, I need to get licensed out there in Ohio. But on Facebook, my name is Brandon Thomas, and I know that's a very like generic name, but I'm sure if you typed in Austin, Texas, I'm a black dude, I got dreads, and every profile picture is gonna be my face. So, and I'm not cutting off my hair, so I'm gonna be the same dude.
Me either.
On and that's BrandonThomas, and that's on Facebook. On Twitter, my handle is Mac from the 12, which I'm gonna change that soon. So it's MACFROMTHA12. The number's 12. And on Facebook, I'm pretty much nothing but, you know, insurance. I really don't do all that positive affirmation stuff. I leave that to other people. It's really just a lot of just free value. Twitter's the same, but I do get more colorful on Twitter. So it's more transparency. You'll see me talk about some stuff on Twitter that I won't talk about on Facebook, because majority of people on Twitter are millennials. So it's like I can post an insurance post, and then the next post I can be like, man, where the weed at, or something like that. So, but on Facebook, you know, you're dealing with millennials, you're dealing with people in their 30s and 40s, and, you know, older people. They don't want to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I keep it pretty business on Facebook. But yeah, you can reach out to me on any of those. My DMs are always open. I work 24/7. I do give free consultations right now, but that will change sometime in the future. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I really don't get on Instagram like that.
What if they don't just have any social media? You got an email address where they can kind of inquire?
It'll be better. My phone number is 512-436-1380. And they can call or text. If you do call me, please leave a voicemail, because if you call from a number that I don't know, chances are I'm not going to answer that first phone call. But if you leave a voicemail, you tell me what your name is and what you're inquiring about, I'll definitely, you know, hit you back pretty quick. So,
sure, man.
Oh, well, Brandon, man, we definitely appreciate you coming on here, dropping these gems, man.
Yeah, this is definitely a subject that we needed to have, and I appreciate you for reaching out to us on Twitter about it, man. I appreciate it, my brother.
Yeah.
Also, everybody, once again, y'all follow us on Instagram, Black Wealth Renaissance. Y'all follow us on Twitter,
BWR movement
movement.
BWR movement. On Facebook is Black Wealth Renaissance. Be sure to check out the website, www.blackwealthrenaissance.com.
Once again, we got great resources for you guys. We got our mortgage calculators. We're also starting to post more blogs for you guys. We actually just posted up a blog last week pertaining to businesses and how to create wealth within the community. So check that out. We got merch on the website. Y'all can get y'all some Black Wealth Renaissance merch. We also did partner with we partnered with GG Clothing,
Golden Graphics.
Yeah, so we got a shirt with him where it's kind of collab between both of us. Y'all can get one of those shirts. We are working on so much more for you guys. Once again, y'all follow us on on YouTube. We got the YouTube page. Like we said, we're working on content. Y'all can listen to the podcast. Y'all can actually see what we look like and just get a feel for us. Man.
It's funny that you had to say it like
that.
that.
Man, but honestly, y'all just keep on rocking with us. We appreciate y'all for listening and tuning in on the podcast. We'll be back next week. This is Black Wealth Renaissance. Signing out. Peace.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles as part of a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Participate in McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theaters.